Everybody, this is Paul Hitchcock. I'm the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, and this is my channel, Giant TV, where I give back by having incredible entrepreneurs on my channel, and certainly Tim is one of them. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be here with you.
Yeah, really excited to hear about your practice. So Tim is a Vistage Chair in the Charlotte metro area. And Tim, you and I have had a chance to talk offline, and you've got so many good things going on. But let's just jump into it. What are you doing there in that area with your Vistage practice?
Yeah, so Vistage peer groups, it's a fascinating thing that we do, pulling together peers, CEOs, presidents of small, medium-sized businesses, and very diverse perspectives. We have, the folks that are in the groups, they are not competing. So it's different industries. And so this just creates an environment for these CEOs, these leaders to just open themselves up to counsel, feedback, discussion, and they also pour into others. So it's a back and forth thing. Um, but many times, Paul, these guys and gals, they don't have people to talk to.
Right.
They're running a business, right? And you know, many times the folks that they are working for them aren't challenging them, aren't
Hmm.
pushing them, aren't telling them the stuff that they don't want to hear, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and it's tough. I mean, I'm not blaming them at all, but it's a tough environment when you're really pushing hard to make it work.
Well, isn't it true too,
So
Tim, that when you're a leader of a business, you can't always confide in your management team? I mean,
yeah.
right. So this to me, well, you've described it. This is a forum where they can come and just let it all out there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a confidential environment for sure. But yeah, and they develop relationships. My oldest group, we've been together for 4 full years, and they
Hmm.
know each other very well. And so
Yeah,
they trust each other, and they're willing to come in. And if they, highly emotional, they start crying, it's all okay.
yeah,
Um,
yep.
and so anyway, it's a great there's a phrase that I love that Vistage uses. It's called carefrontation.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I just love that phrase because that's how we approach each other, with respect. We care for one another, but we don't hold anything back. If we don't think what you're doing is right, you put it out there and you
Well,
you challenge them.
well, that's interesting because so you're getting together monthly. Everyone gets together in a room, and you're
Yeah.
facilitating that. And what does that look like? As I know about the issue processing. Maybe describe that. And are people like really letting their guard down? And you must have a knack for fostering that too.
I think I do. Yes, I think I can create the trust, the
Yeah,
environment in which it's safe, because that's what it's all about, the psychological safety.
yeah,
And so, yeah, they come in, they let their guard down. Now, is it 100%? No, not
yeah.
everybody's willing or able to do that. But more and more, as they get more and more comfortable, they see others do it, then it's okay. It's all right to do that. Yeah, so this issue processing, people bring in the issues, we work through them, we ask questions, we really dig down deep to really understand what is this about. And sometimes, they're coming in thinking this is the issue, but the real issue lies over here in the emotional stuff that they're not willing to deal with on their
Something
own.
else. Yeah,
And we
yeah.
bring it up, we bring it forward and deal with it. So um, people come out of these meetings, everybody's busy. They may not think, man, I don't know how I can go to this today. I'm so busy. But when they walk out of that meeting, every one of them is saying, I'm so glad I came today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do they network with each other outside of the monthly meeting?
Yes, absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely. And some of them actually, I mean, we don't push this or foster it, but some of them work together.
Right.
They might contract with one another to do some work, which is all fine. I mean, it's all okay. But yeah, they have developed some great relationships. They do. I set up monthly lunches for
Oh,
them. So
oh.
I rotate it around. I just facilitate it so they get a chance to get to know one another, and sort of pushes them to get together and do something outside of the normal environment.
You mean you're
Um,
setting up a
so
lunch for two people to get together? You're not
yeah,
there, but you're making it happen?
right,
Oh, that's
right,
great. That's an
yeah.
accountability thing. That's awesome. And then Tim, you're meeting with each one on one, right?
Correct. Yeah, we call them one-to-ones. So we do one-to-ones monthly, just me and them, and we take an hour to 2 hours, and we just sort of dig deep into things. I'm an executive coach, certified executive coach through the International Coaching Federation. Been that way for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I've been full time doing this for 10 years. So yeah, so we work through that process as well. So that's one-to-ones, and then we do the monthly meetings as a group, and that's a full day.
Yeah. Well, when you go into the one-to-ones, are there preset issues on the table that like they say, okay, hey Tim, I want to talk about this, or do you go in and just say, at the moment, what's going on?
Yeah, so well, it depends upon the situation.
Okay.
But sometimes it is top of mind. Other times, and usually they come prepared with something. Hey Tim, I've been struggling with this. Let's talk about this. And I call it, excuse me, I call it coactive coaching. It's a give and take. So there may be
Mhm.
some feedback that I've got to provide for them, and I need to lay it out for them. Hey, this is what I saw. This is what I'm experiencing from you. Um, or they come and say, "Hey, I've got this issue I've got to deal with today." So we work it out. We start at the beginning and say, "All right, this is what's going. This is what I got to talk about today. This is what I want to deal with." And I said,
Yeah.
"Well, I'd like to make sure we have time for some feedback or whatever."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and you've got I imagine there's non-competing industries in your group, but the personalities, I mean, you can't have a toxic personality in there. It's going to break apart the whole group. So are you really, as people are, wanting to get into the group, you're paying particular attention about how they're going to fit in personality wise? Is that a big thing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the number one criteria for me is they got to be about growing and learning.
Mhm.
That's what this is about. When it comes down to it, it's about creating self-awareness.
Yeah,
And so that idea of growing and learning in our role, in our person, the Vistage's tagline is better decisions, better leaders, better people.
yeah,
And that creates profits, it creates better companies and cultures and all that. And so they got to come in ready to learn and to grow. Now the toxicity thing, Paul, when I started my business 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to uh, coach somebody. Somebody had set us up, gave me a referral, and I I met with him, and I didn't like the guy at all.
Mhm.
I couldn't connect with him. It was hard. He said, "Well, give me a proposal." So I gave him a proposal. He didn't accept it, and I was
$5
so
million,
glad.
dollars, $5 million for a week.
Exactly. But he didn't accept it, and I was so glad. But it made me think, I don't want to do business with people I don't like.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, so that's a criteria certainly is, we don't want toxic people. We got people that are respectful and kind and care about other people. The self-awareness and emotional intelligence is something that we got to make sure we have. Now, how do we do that? Well, we do interviews up front,
Yeah.
and it's got to be a fit both ways.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And then
Yep.
then I invite my candidates, I invite them to a meeting because I want them to know who they're getting involved with. Do they like these people? A gal that just joined us recently, she said, "I've found my tribe." And I love that. I
That's
love
great.
that.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it's
So
interesting you said that about you and your leadership there. I remember somebody told me early in my career when I was building out my first business, they said, and when you're starting, you're brand new, you're taking everybody as a client or member, but then as you get to be a seasoned, professional, the people that are working with you really are a reflection of your personality,
yes.
and you.
Yeah.
Would you say that's an accurate statement about your group? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's a few people, here and there I probably haven't chosen appropriately. And some people have left. I asked one guy to leave. So, I mean, it comes and goes. We're not perfect at it, but yeah, I mean, we try each other out, and
Yeah.
um, and good fits stay a while
Yeah.
because they get the value, they connect with the people. We bring in speakers. We have 8 speakers throughout the year, um, and there's great value in that for the folks that they
Oh
can
yeah.
learn from experts, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those speakers are amazing that Vistage has in the stable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you but you have space now, Tim, and who are you looking for to fit into the group?
Oh, great question. Yes, I'm always looking for people. I've got 2 CE groups. CEO groups, presidents, founders, CEOs, and both of them are at about 14. And for me, the ideal size is 15 to 16. I
Hmm.
don't want to go bigger than that because then we sort of miss out on opportunities to get everybody involved. But we want to make sure we're in that kind of range. You want to have at least 12, 10, 12 people in the meeting, so we get enough diversity of thought.
Yeah,
So important. But
yeah.
yeah, so what kind of people am I looking for? We don't have anybody in banking. We don't have manufacturing. I'd love to have some manufacturing folks.
Hmm.
Um, we've got several folks that are in construction, different avenues of construction. An architect. We've got engineer. We've got a surveyor. We've got some fellow that does underground utilities. Another one that does civil site work kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and general contractor. But you know, um, yeah, I'm looking for folks that really want to grow and learn. And we don't have anybody in the medical field. Is another one that
Okay.
that we don't have anybody in that space. But um, it is. And with 2 groups, I've got different sets and different groups. So there are not too many duplications actually in the 2 groups either. So I can
Oh,
accept if I've got a wealth management in one space, I may not have that in the other. So I can
oh
bring
yeah.
somebody, right. So it
Yeah.
varies by the groups. So but yeah, each of the groups have a different culture, which is interesting too.
In
Um,
what
so
way?
I think some are a little bit more innovative than others. I mean, both groups are innovative, but there's probably a greater propensity in one group. Another group is probably a little bit older, maybe a more stable kind of perspective. They all have this idea of respect for one another, and we have a lot of fun. I mean, it is a crack up. I love going to these meetings because these are very bright people and they've got great senses of humor.
Hmm.
And so it's it's a riot. I love my meeting week with them. It's really fun. But when we have to get serious, when it's time to get serious, everybody jumps in. They get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, and I want to tell
yeah.
everybody wherever you're watching this, because we stream this everywhere. I'm going to put Tim's information around this video. So, um, get connected with Tim for sure. And how does it start, Tim? With a discussion, with you get on a Zoom and talk to somebody and just kind of get to know
Yeah, get on a Zoom, or we'll meet in face to face.
them? Yeah.
A lot of value in that. Get to understand the body language and how comfortable everybody is with each other. But yeah, it starts with a conversation, and
Yeah.
then yeah, we start talking through some details, see what makes sense. Is it a good fit? They've got to like me because they're going to be around me a lot. So if we don't connect, we don't connect. It's part of it. I don't claim to be the person that connects with everybody, but yeah, and then we start getting a little more serious about it. Let's come to a meeting. Let's check it out. And then what's the feedback from the meeting? Does this fit for you? And is this going to be a helpful thing for you? And what are you going to contribute? It works both ways. You don't just come in and take it from others, right?
Right.
You've got to be given something too. So what is it that you're going to be able to give to those in the group? And love to hear the perspective when people come in and after the meeting. So it's a question I always ask. So what is it you think you can give to the group?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's an
Uh,
accountability issue there, right? Because you get somebody who's just a bump on a log in a group like yours, if they're not adding value or not executing on the things they need to be doing to add value, it just not doesn't work, seems to me.
yeah. Yeah, and that really comes through loud and clear, not only in the discussion, the meeting, but whenever you process an issue. That's if I brought an issue to the group and I was a member, then people will give me ideas of ways to go about solving this, and I'll as a facilitator, I say, hey, what's the one you're going to choose? What are you going to
Yeah.
select? What are you going to act on here? And they'll say, I want number 3 and I want number 7. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Well, then there's a follow-up. And either in the one-to-one or the next meeting, I always bring it up. All right, so Paul, if this is your issue, I'm saying, Paul, tell me about it. Tell me, what did
Yeah.
you accomplish? And they got to share with the group then, what have I done?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they don't, then it's sort of like, well, we just spent an hour or half an hour working on your issue and you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the tone that comes through.
Right, right.
So
This is great stuff. Well, I've heard a lot of great things about your group from others, and obviously getting to know you, Tim. It's great. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. I know you and I will keep talking.
yes, absolutely. Well, Paul, I appreciate the opportunity to spend time with you. I'm impressed with your process and what you have going on too. This has been a learning experience for me to participate with you. So thank you.
Well, very kind words. You're welcome. All right,
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Okay, sounds good.